but the dirt don't settle, won't sleep or stay. Signals live, baby, on the Palmetto Racing Network waves, where the roots run deep, gators bite, and the mean serpents play. Fumes and the engines louder than bombs. Only two things known to live long: champions, legends, stock car engine. The roughest, toughest bunch of motorsports, the wildest crowd you ever seen before. Palmetto lights burning through the low country road. Champions, legends, stock car engine. Palmetto lights burning through the low country road. What they hear, what they know, where they've been, what they seen. Every turn, every burn, Palmetto carries the speed. Mean serpent, roughest, loudest, on scene, on stream. The roughest, toughest bunch of motorsports, the wildest crowd you ever seen before. Legends, stock car engine. Palmetto lights burning through the low country road.
Hello and welcome, race fans, to another exciting afternoon of racing here with the Palmetto Racing League's Truck Series as they take to Kansas for 75 laps of what should be some decent action here this afternoon. We remember earlier on in the season they raced at Kansas, and it was a fairly decent race with only 4 cautions on record, 3 of which were due to actual incidents, and 1 being the halfway stage. For tonight's race, they will have a halfway stage at the completion of lap 37, and the commissioner decided at last minute to try and spice things up as we are nearing the end of the season for the Truck Series here with Palmetto Racing League. Stage winner will now get a bonus of 10 points added to their overall result points. Should help make things interesting, could possibly shake things up a bit. Let's go ahead without further ado and get our track info up, race info for this one. This is the 29th week of racing here with the Palmetto Racing League's Truck Series at Kansas Speedway this afternoon. We see the temperature is 66. Track temperature, I want to say, was showing somewhere around, the screen there says 68, but I want to say that changed up a little bit. Could be wrong, but for now we'll run with what we have on the screen there. Humidity is about 86% there, so quite humid on the track. Clear weather though, a little bit of a wind gust going on. I don't think it's going to affect anything here tonight. Drivers are going ahead and taking to the track currently to get their qualifying laps in, so let's go ahead and get that race info down, and let's do a quick recap here for a minute, because it's been a while since we took a look at our point standings. Did have a couple of changes this week. A few drivers have left the Truck Series and are no longer with the league anymore, so the standings have changed up quite a bit. Aaron Vogt, after last weekend's race, managed to take the first place in standings back over now with 848 points. Joshua Fix there in the 83 with 776. Brent Thompson in the 45 moving up to 555 now in third place. Andrew Ziegler in fourth. Matthew Corley in fifth. Mr. Doyle Boyd there in sixth. Austin Ziegler in seventh. Brandon Meir of the 33, somewhat new driver here, is really climbing up the ranks fast here. Several wins at several of the last races that we've had. And it shows here in the standings because he has made his way up the chain relatively quick, and we expect to see him continue to climb there. Stephen Gall in the 25 is another one who has really come in and won several races, and he's been some great competition out there amongst these guys. Ricky DeRozier in the 11 there in 10th. Christopher Mulkerin in the 4 in 11th place. Aaron Martin in the 27 in 12th. And Dustin Spates in 13th. And it also matches his truck number. That's pretty ironic there. So let's go ahead and get those down. We will take a recap at the completion of this race and have the updated points in play for you there, so you can see where these drivers currently stand after the conclusion of this afternoon's race.
Nice spot, Ricky.
But let's go ahead and get some of our info up on the screen here and take a look around the track. As you see, the 33 of Brandon Meir wrapping up his qualifying laps there. And we got about 30 seconds here, and lone qualifying will be done. The 2 of Aaron Vogt there now taken out to the track to get his qualifying laps in. We'll go ahead and get our driver box up here. And that is going to do it for qualifying, as we will get our grid order up here on the screen. It looks like we are going to possibly run into some difficulties here again. I don't know why this thing manages to do this sometimes. We'll just use the results, since that wants to be difficult from qualifying. See if that works. No, it does not. Well, folks, I apologize to you here. Let's just take a moment. I'm going to try one more thing here, see if I can't get this thing working. Sometimes it works great, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, it does not look like we are going to get it out of it this afternoon. So that's all right. No worries there. Wants to be a little difficult this morning. We'll just take a look at our tower here as the drivers begin to stack in. See if that will show us. So as we look at the tower now, we see the 11 of Ricky DeRozier is going to start out first place here. Brandon Meir in the 33 right behind him in second. Aaron Martin in the 27 right behind him in third. Christopher Mulkerin in fourth. Austin Ziegler in fifth. Mr. Doyle Boyd starting in sixth tonight. Stephen Gall starting in seventh. And Joshua Fix in the 83 starting in eighth, with Aaron Vogt in the 2 starting out in ninth. So 9 drivers on the grid this evening. Should be relatively interesting. Kansas is a very, very decent track. Not too difficult, but I will say that the tire wear can get the best of you here if you're not careful. So drivers waiting to get everyone gridded up here so we can get this one going. Again, 75 laps here tonight. Halfway stage at the completion of lap 37. Stage winner being awarded an additional 10 bonus points to their overall points for their finish here tonight. So it'll be interesting to see who comes away with that one, as that is not something that these drivers have been doing during the season. But these a lot of these guys got a late start in this season, so I do believe that the commissioner is doing his best here to try and help them climb the ranks so that they can be competitive. And I think this is one of the ways here that he is trying to do so, as we see the 33 of Brandon Meir out there getting the tires warmed up. The 11 of Ricky DeRozier there starting this one off for us. Again, earlier in the broadcast, we mentioned that the last time these drivers raced at Kansas, there were a total of 4 cautions, one being a stage caution, so 3 cautions for incident at this track with these drivers. So we'll see if maybe tonight is similar, worse, or better. We'll let you be the judge of that one once this one concludes.
Black, because he doesn't pass me, can I get it cleared?
Yeah, just go ahead on up, tighten up.
And these drivers are green. We are underway here at Kansas Speedway.
Yeah, I got flags for that. Thank you, sir.
Things jumping off to a start here with the 11 of Ricky DeRozier getting a nice lead. A little bit of confusion on the track here, as we have 2 drivers running with the number 4. A little uncertain of what is going on there, but that looks to be that second 4 there.
I'm covering my drive-through for jumping.
Kind of a bit difficult. Let's see if we can sort this out and figure out which driver is which here.
Come on up.
So
now.
that 4 right there is actually the 25 of Stephen Gall. Both paint schemes of 4 dueling it out there on the track. The other 4 is the 4 of
lose the pack because of me, brother.
Christopher Mulkerin. So just get that confusion cleared up a bit. Not sure who's going to be conducting the race review of this one, but they are going to have a little bit of a difficult time, just as we did just now, trying to figure out who is who here. A couple of drivers dropping down to the shoulder there, trying to make use of every bit of advantage they can get here at Kansas. As we see the 25 of Stephen Gall there just in front of the 001 of Mr. Doyle Boyd. 4 laps already down in this one. See how smooth they can keep the flow of the race going here. Let's throw up some driver info here on the screen for you. Take a look at the dashboard. Drivers running about 180 to 175, somewhere in between that range in the turns here. Be interesting to see the shift as the race progresses here, from drivers starting out those first couple of laps, going into them kind of full force before slacking off, driving a little more conservative, because this track will eat your tires up quickly, especially if you try to force the throttle into the turns there. Might even see some of that result early on in this one, depending on who are more aggressive drivers are out here, which Looks to me like everyone is trying to run those turns pretty smoothly, so maybe we won't see that issue a whole lot tonight. I'm sure someone's gonna do it. Seven laps of clean racing so far here. The 9 of Austin Ziegler just behind the 25 of Stephen Gall there. Gonna try to make a move to the inside here, maybe try to get around the 25. Be interesting to see how adding this 10-point bonus to the stage winner is going to affect the race here. Now these guys have a purpose to really race hard the entire race. Everybody wants those 10 bonus points. Might not sound like much, but when you look at the standings, they will eventually reflect. Especially after, you know, you think about it in a sense of 4 races, or we'll say 2 races. If you come away from 2 races winning the stage, that's 20 bonus points, and that would be the equivalent to half of what first place brings home for a win. So should help to really kind of spruce things up some.
All right, 9.
Lap 10 of 75 out of the way now. Drivers moving through these laps relatively quickly. At this pace, we will be at the halfway stage before long. Going single file here into the turn. Everybody looking pretty solid and smooth out there this afternoon. 2 drivers already a lap down, the 9 of Austin Ziegler and the 2 of Aaron Vogt. The 9 of Austin Ziegler serving a penalty at the start of this one, drive-through penalty, and that's most likely the cause for the lap down there. The 27 of Aaron Martin also serving an EOL for incidents at last week's race. Only 2 penalties for this one starting out. Had one other for the 12 of Andrew Ziegler. However, he is not here tonight, so that penalty will cancel itself out. Getting ready to be lap 13 of 75 here in this one. Inching closer and closer to the halfway stage. Be interesting to see who the stage winner is of this one, as it is the first time doing it. It'd be nice to see one of these newer guys who have recently joined get it. Help some of these guys climb the ranks a bit faster here. There is a, as you've seen in the standings earlier, a decent point gap between 3rd down to 12th and 13th even. The point stretch there gets pretty far. Cameraman seems to be fixed on the 25 of Stephen Gall, probably scared to get the focus off of him there, as we may lose track of who is who. There being 2 4s on the track. Take a look at the 83 who is running in the back currently with that Mortal Kombat scheme, probably in promotion for the second movie there coming out May 8th in theaters. The 2 of Aaron Vogt also running a bit in the back there. A little bit of wall drag going on. Looks like the 2 is having a bit of a struggle this evening here. little bit more contact to the wall. Let's take a look at the 27 of Aaron Martin here, who started this one out with an EOL at the end. Currently running in 5th place right now. Trying to gain on the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin, who is just in front of him. About a second's worth of a gap there. So we jump back up front with the 25 of Stephen Gall, who's just behind our leader right now. And it looks like we got us a crash there from the 2 of Aaron Vogt. Looks like he made some slight contact with the wall there before running off into the grassy area. Looks like he may be able to save it. Oh, but it looks like he comes out of the grass just a little too sharp there, and that's a bit of a mess there from the 2 of Aaron Vogt. The 33 of Brandon Meir just barely misses him there. And that is our first caution of the evening here at Kansas. I think the last time I looked at the tower, we were about close to 20 laps in. Let's take a look here. See here.
When is stage again?
17 laps in, so
Completion of 37.
we're about 20 laps from the halfway stage here. So these drivers probably going to take advantage of this unplanned caution here. Come in and maybe get them some fuel. I don't think anyone would take tires this early on. We'll have to watch pit lane and see what happens here as drivers make their way down now. Looks like almost, oh, nope, pretty much the whole field coming in for this one. There we see the actual number 4 of Christopher Mulkerin. Everyone making their way in now. Oh, looks like a couple of drivers taking some tires here. Looks like maybe the 83 of Joshua Fix there just took fuel. As everybody gets back out on the track here and set to grid back up. There's the 11 of Ricky DeRozier, who currently is in second right now, as the 33 of Brandon Meir. Well, the 33 just dropped off into the pits there, putting the 11 of Ricky DeRozier back in first place with the 25 of Stephen Gall just behind him there, and the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin behind him. So a little bit of a grid shift up here, as the 83 of Joshua Fix now currently in 4th place for this restart. The 27 of Aaron Martin
Jumped out with tires, so I kept going.
just behind him. Things going to continue to shift around a little bit as we get ready to wrap up the first caution of the afternoon here. Next week, these drivers take to the Super Speedway at Talladega for 50 laps there of some Super Speedway action. hopefully it will be nothing like what has been going on in the officials lately, as they have been absolutely crazy. Draft Masters has had a negative light shined on them
Doyle,
over the
bottom
last several weeks from folks crashing and wiping out as the pace truck exits the track, and we get this one started right at the lap 21 marker here to start this one back off. It's the 83 of Joshua Fix now in fifth, or excuse me, sixth, dropping another one to seventh there. Mr. Doyle Boyd holding on to that fifth place position. Aaron Martin in the 27 and fourth. Stephen Gall in third now, with the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin in second. And Ricky DeRozier in the 11. Now being passed by the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin. So things shaping up, shifting up quite a bit here. These guys are going to keep everyone on their toes. That's, what, 2-3 leader changes so far. Fast-paced and interesting this one has been so far. The 11 of Ricky DeRozier now in third. Having a little bit of a battle there with the 27 of Aaron Martin taking over second place now, doing his best to try and catch up to the 4 of Chris Mulkerin. 27 there has won let's see, 1-2 races, I believe. No, he was one of the Daytona dual winners. Well, I may have the main feature there. He was the winner of the main feature at Daytona. So it'll be interesting to see how things shape up for him next weekend at Talladega. And then, of course, we have the street stocks going back to action on Wednesday afternoon. Live coming to you from Palmetto Racing Network here at 6:30, and they will be racing at, look at my track here, they'll be racing at New Hampshire on Wednesday. That will be in-sim daytime race. However, broadcast will still happen live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is. So be sure to tune into that. Should be another fun race to watch the street stock drivers get out there. And hopefully have a thicker grid this week, because it seems like the last 2 weeks it's been really slim pickings on drivers. So as the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin here still holding on to that first place position. However, the 27 of Aaron Martin going to look to change that one here, as he is trying his best to close the gap with the 9 of Austin Ziegler just behind him there. As he looks to try and shoot to the inside, but it looks like the 4 of Chris going to try to block him here. Not successful on the block, so the 27 of Aaron Martin going to look to try and hold that line there, as the 4 of Chris Mulkerin looks like he might have 2 to potentially block now, as the 9 of Austin Ziegler also looking to get around him here. You have to expect that things are going to heat up quite a bit now that there are bonus points on the line for the stage. And if I'm understanding correctly, this will be something that will happen every race from here on out for the Truck Series. Try and really help some of these guys who are competitive and talented climb the hurdle of the point standings, as the gap in points, as I mentioned earlier, is quite a stretch once you get down to about from third on down to the rest of the positions. 4 of Christopher Mulkerin still doing his best out there to keep that first place lead, with the 9 of Austin Ziegler right there on his inside. Gonna drop down to the shoulder there and make every bit of the track there to his advantage. Real close one here now, as they are side by side. Neither driver wanting to give an inch here. Lap 29 of 75. Coming around this time will be 30, so we will be that much closer to the stage and seeing who our stage winner for this one will be. With a nice little battle here between first and second. Austin Ziegler now just getting out far enough, but not quite enough, as the middle seems to be running very effectively for the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin here. The 27 of Aaron Martin kind of just trying to decide who he wants to be behind in this one, as the 9 of Austin Ziegler finally has enough to get out in front of the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin before jumping up in front of him there. Gonna try to keep him behind and maybe snag those 10 bonus points here. If he can hold on to it for about 6 more laps. Remember, it is the completion of lap 37, so not the start, before the halfway stage comes out now, with a little bit of a gap there between him and the 4. They were having an interesting little battle just moments ago. Pace kind of slowing down a bit here now. Tire wear probably coming into play with 30 laps in. 32 to be exact. The 9 of Austin Ziegler looking to keep that gap there between him and the 4. Pit lanes will be closing here shortly as these drivers prepare for the stage win. About 0.03 of a second worth of a gap there between him and the 9 of Austin Ziegler. A little bit more of a change to the leaderboard here, as the 83 of Joshua Fix now leading the back of the pack. The 2 of Aaron Vogt 4 laps down now. A little bit of a rough start for him in the beginning of this one. Kind of out of the ordinary for this driver. As the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin still looking to gain on the 9 of Austin Ziegler here, who has a nice gap between the 2, almost reaching a second, but not quite there. Seems with every turn, the 4 there is shrinking the gap, hitting those marks and doing what he needs to do to stay right behind the 9. As the stage is rapidly approaching us here, roughly about 2 more laps to stage. Lots of clean competitive racing here so far. Some interesting battles, especially up here at the front towards first and second. Be interesting to see how things shape up after the stage here. And that we are on lap 37, so this time around through the checkered will bring out the stage. There's the drivers round through the turn now. And it looks like the 9 of Austin Ziegler going to be your stage winner, as the pace truck comes out onto the track now. Second caution of the evening here.
Good job on the stage win, Austin.
That will be 10 bonus points
I
there.
bet these trucks are aero dependent. You can actually glide for the dirty air, which I thought that was just a next gen thing.
As the 9 of Austin Ziegler now slowing up, give the pace truck a chance there to catch up to him.
Turn 3, you're going to not be able to fit.
Drivers coming into pit lane now, looking to get
You got to wait up for the pace car.
everyone coming out of pits now, all freshened up here. The 9 of Austin Ziegler going to go ahead and take his pit.
Sorry for whoever's behind me right there when we're coming off pits. My brake is acting like I'm touching it just a tiny bit.
Sounds like the 25 of Stephen Gall having some technical difficulties there with his truck. Doesn't sound like something that's not manageable though, so don't foresee any major issues out of that there. As always, we want to mention, if you enjoy tuning in and watching the action, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel as we post our
Austin, you are a full lap ahead of the field.
content there weekly, with 2 active series from the Palmetto Racing League here, racing every week, minus a week off for the street stocks every 5 weeks. As we are back green flag now, 42 of 75 in this one. A little bit of on-track confusion here, as it looks like the number 9 of Austin Ziegler kind of maybe confused the iRacing system a bit here, as he did not slow up for the pace truck, and that is unfortunate for him. It's going to cause him to lose his first place position. But he looks like he has done the right thing here now by pitting, trying to wait for these drivers to catch up. I don't know many individuals that would have done that, would have took advantage of that, and basically just told others to deal with it. So that is a good show of integrity and accountability there from the 9 of Austin Ziegler, who has now gotten things straight and corrected up here, as the 33 of Brandon Muir now leading this one with the 25 of Stephen Gall right there behind him. Everyone looking to push hard this second half. Been a decently clean first half here with minus the hiccup there from the 2 of Aaron Vogt, but he seems to have gotten his groove straightened out here a bit. Might have just took a minute to adjust to the track. Still some laps down there, but so far so good on the green flag racing. Should get us another green flag pit stop here. As I believe practice, these guys were getting around 23, 24 laps to a tank of fuel. So definitely should leave us some room here for some green flag pit stops, and we'll see how that causes to shape things up here in the end. Those usually tend to shake things up quite a bit. 30 laps to go in this one now. As the 11 of Ricky DeRozier there trying to see if he can't get around the 25 of Stephen Gall. Again, we apologize for the confusion there with the 4 on the side of his car. That is the 25 of Stephen Gall. The other 4 on the track is the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin, who is now currently in 6th position. As I mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, the 33 of Brandon Muir there has dominated at several races here so far in this league. He has definitely been a fun one to watch. But his competition has definitely proven time and time again to be the 25 of Stephen Gall, who is right on his bumper, looking to try and give him a run for his money. Just 28 laps to go in this one now, fixing to be 27 this time through the turn. Seven laps to go. What has been an interesting race here at Kansas so far. The 11 of Ricky DeRozier looking to try and get up past the 25 of Stephen Gall. A little bit of a battle going on for second there between those two. Can at some points it looks like the two are maybe trying to work together, get a little bit of a draft going to try and close the gap on that 33, but the 11 of Ricky DeRozier not looking to make any friends here. He just wants to catch up to the 33 of Brandon Muir, maybe try and snag the win from him here, as the 25 of Stephen Gall is now dropped into third. The 11 of Ricky there seems to be pretty efficient here at trying to close that gap. You can see it with each lap just ever so slightly shrinking, as he is almost to the bumper of the 33 of Brandon Muir with 25 laps to go in this one. And as always, if you're enjoying the content, be sure to help us thank our sponsors at Working Man Outdoors and VB Racing for helping make all of this possible. Without those guys and without these excellent drivers that the league has, none of this stuff would be possible. 33 announcing he is going into pit this time through. Bold strategy here, pitting a little early. Looks like the rest of the field gonna stay out. 25 of Stephen Gall also going in, which now moves the 11 of Ricky DeRozier on up to first with the 83 of Joshua Fix just behind him there. Slight battle between him and the 001 of Mr. Doyle Boyd. But he is doing what he can to keep the gap a good distance there, try and hold on to that second place. However, we know that just momentarily he will have to pit at some point here, as he won't have enough fuel to stretch this one out, as the 001 of Mr. Doyle Boyd looking to go on his inside there, using that shoulder, trying to make effective use of it. The 83 going a little wide to the outside, trying all he can to definitely
0-1 pitting.
keep the gap there. The 001 of Mr. Doyle Boyd going to pit this time around. So currently only drivers out on the track is the 11 of Ricky DeRozier and the 83 of Joshua Fix. So if they can really get him a solid run here and maybe put the rest of the field a lap down, depending on what their pit strategy is heading into pits, it could play out to be an effective strategy.
11 pitting this time.
The 33 of Brandon Meir
83 pitting this time.
now making his way out of pits.
Didn't mean to put that in the text.
Currently running in fourth here, but a lap down, so both the 11 of Ricky DeRozier and the 83 of Joshua Fix both in pits, along with the 001 of Mr. Doyle Boyd. Now the 33 of Brandon Meir climbing the ranks here, trying to get himself back up into that first place position, and that will be our green flag pit stop there. Should not be any more pit stops unless we have another caution. But the way these drivers have been running this race this afternoon, I don't foresee that being an issue. We are now at the 20 laps to go marker. So this one is almost a wrap. The 83 and the 11 of Ricky DeRozier now coming out of pits. Didn't lose too many position there between the two. But they are no longer in first and second. They dropped about 2 positions apiece. The 25 of Stephen Gall there currently holding on to the second place position, but gets a little bit of contact there between him and the 27 of Aaron Martin. Both drivers able to hold on to it there. What an impressive save between the two. That is definitely a photo finish save. Cameraman kind of got a glimpse of that last minute there, so I'm not sure exactly who had the better save out of that one, but it definitely looked like a equally balanced save from both drivers. So definitely
I appreciate that.
well saved there. Just 18 laps to go in this one now. The 25 of Stephen Gall now still currently second place there behind the 33 of Brandon Meir. That battle that he was having, although was epic with the 27 of Aaron Martin. Martin is 2 laps down currently, so I think that was a little bit of sarcasm there from the 25 of Stephen Gall, battling with a lapped car there. I understand the frustration, but the 27 has got to make his laps up somehow. Both drivers kept it pretty clean for the most part, minus the near miss there, but excellent save on behalf of both. Just 16 laps to go now, and we are winding this one down rather quickly. The 27 of Aaron Martin can make it around the leader currently, the 33 of Brandon Meir. He will get one of his laps back, which it looks like the 33 of Brandon Meir not going to put up too much of a fight here. Probably best that way, honestly, especially if you are leading the race. No point in battling with a lapped car there. It changes nothing, just increases the risk of having an incident on track and possibly robbing you of that first place position. So smart move by the 33 there, allowing Aaron Martin to get one of his laps back, as he is still leading with a pretty decent gap there between him and the 25 of Stephen Gall, just over a second. 14 laps to go in this one. The 27 of Aaron Martin had a pretty decent run there getting around the 33, but looks like he may have kind of stalled a bit here now, as the 33 of Brandon Muir is slightly gaining on him. Possibly looking at putting him back down to 2 laps down here. I mentioned earlier you don't really want to battle with lap traffic. However, you also don't want to slow the pace. That would allow the 25 of Stephen Gall back there to quickly gain on the 33 of Brandon Muir. So I wouldn't call it battling at this point. I would more so say it was surviving, trying to keep that that relative gap at about the distance it is, which still keeping it over a second between him and the 25 as we near our 10 to go marker next time around. And this one is almost wrapped up here. Take a look at the 9 of Austin Ziegler, currently still sitting in the pits. Not entirely sure what happened to him. He hasn't been on the track since earlier, so let's take a little bit of a look around here as the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin still currently in 4th here. Ricky DeRozier in the 11 is now in 3rd, trying to gain on the 25 of Stephen Gall. The 2 of Aaron Vogt still a few laps down now, back there with the 83 of Joshua Fix. So we jump back up front here now. 9 laps to go in this one. Brandon Muir in the 33, still currently the race leader. Right there behind the 27 of Aaron Martin, who is still trying to gain some momentum here, get himself back on the lead lap, but I don't believe that 9 laps to go is going to do it for him. Not enough time in that window there. Take a look at the 25 of Stephen Gall. Still sitting in 2nd place currently. Kind of just cruising the track at this point. Then just behind him is the 11 of Ricky DeRozier, trying his best to gain on the 25 of Stephen Gall. About a 2-second gap between the two here. Definitely doable. 2 seconds. Looks like he's making very effective use of the shoulder there. Maybe try and close that gap on the 25 and stand a chance of catching up to the 33 of Brandon Muir. All of these drivers looking to shut down the... don't really feel right calling it a win streak from the 33 of Brandon Muir, but he has been very successful the last several races. As he is closing in on the 25 of Stephen Gall now. About a second's worth of a gap between the two. Just 6 laps to go in this one, and a little bit of wall drag there from the 25 of Stephen Gall. That was enough to give Ricky DeRozier the advantage for a clean pass around the 25 of Stephen Gall. And I'm telling you, the wall here at Kansas, we haven't seen many people make contact with it this afternoon. But that wall just, man, when it gets a hold of you, it really pulls you in. A little bit of smoke there on the track. Not sure if something happened with somebody. I don't see anything in our event log there. But it's apparent for sure that something just recently happened. However, we are staying green with 4 to go. It's the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin, currently in 5th place. Our race winner last weekend had a very, very successful race at Bristol. Currently running in 5th. Ricky DeRozier in 2nd still, with the 25 of Stephen Gall back there trying to make up that ground. A bit of a significant gap there between the 11 of Ricky and the 33 of Brandon Meir, as he looks to hang on to that 1st place position for another season win.
I need 5 more laps at the end of this race.
Ricky saying there on the radio if he had about 5 more laps, he could possibly catch him. I can't disagree with that statement. He is doing pretty well here, it looks like. If I'm seeing that correctly, he is gaining decently on the 33 of Brandon Meir, so 5 more laps could potentially be a difference maker for him here. However, they're not going to extend the laps unless, of course, a caution comes out. Which
Question is, do I have enough fuel?
Brandon Meir jokingly saying there he may not have enough fuel to finish. As he is on the last lap. We are on our white flag lap now this time around as he enters the backstretch here. Entering turn 3 and coming around turn 4, and this one is going to do it for us here, it looks like, as long as the 33 can hang on to it in the turn. Don't see him having any issues with that. And that is your official race winner there, the 33 of Brandon Meir, bringing home yet another win in the Truck Series season here with Palmetto Racing League.
Good win, Brandon, again. Damn you.
Thank you.
This should have been mine. Should have been mine.
So the 33 of Brandon Meir bringing home another win here in this one. As he looks to celebrate here shortly once our results are ready for the race here. We will get those up, and it looks like they are now ready. So let's go ahead and get those on the screen. Hopefully it cooperates, and it does. Brandon Meir in the 33, your winner tonight. Ricky DeRozier in the 11, finishing in 2nd with a 2.2 second gap between him and the 33 of Brandon Meir. Stephen Gall finishing in 3rd tonight. Mr. Doyle Boyd finishing in 4th. Christopher Mulkerin finishing in 5th. Joshua Fix finishing in 6th. Aaron Martin in 7th. Aaron Vogt in 8th. And Austin Ziegler finishing 9th. What a race that was this evening, as the 33 of Brandon Meir out there burning the tires down for this one. May have just possibly run out of fuel, it sounds like, so he had just enough to get himself across the finish line there. Definitely planned that one out accordingly. So now, without further ado, we will get our new point standings up at the conclusion of this one here. You see the 2 of Aaron Vogt still leading with 877 points. About 70 points behind him is the 83 of Joshua Fix. Brent Thompson, who moved up rather quickly here in recent times, even though he's been missing in action here lately. 555 points. Andrew Ziegler in 4th. Mr. Doyle Boyd moves up a position from 6th to 5th over the 95 of Matthew Corley with 514 points. Matthew Corley now in 6th. He's missed several races here recently. The 9 of Austin Ziegler now in 7th. The 33 of Brandon Muir up in 8th. The 25 of Stephen Gall in 9th. Ricky DeRozier in the 11 is in 10th place. Christopher Mulker in 11th. Aaron Martin in 12th. And Dustin Spates in 13th with 101 points. So you can see that like I said, that major point gap difference there from 3rd place on down. 3rd place being about 300, roughly 2 and some change, 200 points behind the 2nd place of Joshua Fix there. So a little bit of a point spread gap. That is the main reason that the commissioner has decided to try and add this 10-point bonus to every stage to hopefully kind of shake things up and keep things competitive between these other drivers, some of these guys that maybe got a late start in all of this. So love to see it, man. Been some competitive racing here this evening. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did bringing it to you. And that's going to do it for us this evening. Again, tune in on Wednesday as the Street Stock Series takes to the track live at New Hampshire for what should be another action-packed street stock race. But until then, y'all enjoy your day.